All right, do you guys know where I'm from? I mean, if I was to say that, there's probably not very many people, right? Somebody was from Sarasota Beach. Is that the Macho Man? Somebody was from Venice, California. I believe that was Hulk Hogan. And somebody was from parts unknown. I believe that was the Ultimate Warrior. I'm trying to think. What do you got? Where was Muhammad Ali from? Where was Mike Tyson from? What do you got? Do you know where people are from? Do you know where I'm from? And I ask you that only because I have made my town synonymous with whatever I do. I'm going around and I'm representing my town, right? That's a prideful thing for me. For whatever reason, some people don't feel that. Some people grow up and they move away. I have people ask me all the time, they say, you're in West Linn, you haven't moved. I thought you moved to California. I thought you went over to Boise. I thought, why haven't you moved? They would say that. And then they tell me all the things that's wrong with the city council or the police or the government. They will tell me these things. And I'm looking at it, I can't even believe it. It's like they're talking to somebody else. I would never turn and run when I can stay and fight. And it always surprises me when somebody thinks that I would. I don't leave. I run other people off. But Chael P, the P standing for icon and from West Linn, Oregon, is generally a synonymous thing, at least I think it is, right? Perhaps a little bit of a character flaw. In my own mind, City Hall, which right now has a gay pride parade, before that had a Black Lives Matter parade, before that had our state parade, and at all times has an American parade, in my mind, has a statue of me. I admit that. It's a character flaw. I like my hometown. I care what happens here. And in my mind, I'm running the town. Okay. Now, I share that with you because there is a way that I will behave in West Linn. I assure you of that. But there's also a way that I get judged in West Linn based on my behavior. And being a regular human being is not one of those things. I don't get to be sad. I don't get to be happy. I don't get to cry. Not that I ever would. I don't get to shout. I don't get to do those things. I am supposed to be this, and I don't really understand it. And one of the reasons I don't love it is I predate it. It's a very nice city. In the state of Oregon, it's the #1 city. They do little rankings, and every now and then it comes in #2, and then it gets #1 back. And I only share that with you because I predate it. I was here when this was wheat fields. I was here when that 2-way stop was a 4-way stop. I was here when that 4-way stop was a blinking red light. And I'm not crazy about it when somebody comes in and tells me new rules. That's true. That's a character flaw. So I leave the studio yesterday. Now, you've got to understand, I have a very unique pickup truck. Okay? I go get in an ass whipping contest, 4 jumps behind it. You might have seen the commercials, but they renew that truck. So it's all black. It's got the back. It's got a lift on it. Whatever. I think it's a cool looking truck, but it's my truck, and there's not another truck like it. There's just one. And you don't have to know. You don't have to know who Chael Sonnen is in West Linn, but I started this piece by asking you who's not from West Linn. I started this piece by asking you where I'm from, and you said West Linn. You who's not from here said West Linn. So for me to arrogantly believe that somebody's going to know who I am in West Linn, particularly when I'm in traffic in a very unique truck that was featured in a commercial, there's an arrogance to that, for sure. But now you understand my mindset, okay? For right or wrong. So, I'm driving home yesterday, and these horns are honking. I mean, I gotta tell you, I do not know. I need to include that. But if I was to guess, in fairness, I would say there was 20 honks. And I would say it was from 3 different vehicles. Now, if any of you are from the East Coast, so what? That's a regular day. Okay, excuse me. I have not in my life honked my horn 5 times. That is not an exaggeration. I am going with the number 5 so that there is no way that I'm undertelling the story. I'm attempting to be very literal. In my life, I have not honked my horn 5 times. I remember a time taking the same kind of pickup truck through something called DEQ for my father. It was an errand. I was 16. They make you honk the horn. I didn't know where it was. We do not honk out here. And it's not a situation where if you honk your horn, you better be ready to fight. No, not in the least. If you honk your horn, I'm going to figure something's wrong. And if you honk your horn at me in an aggressive manner, I'm going to figure something's really wrong, because the only other option is aggressiveness, which you're not going to bring to me. Character flaw, maybe. Sharing my mindset. I'm on my way home yesterday, and I get to a stop sign. And boy, these horns are going off. I mean, I got to tell you, I have never honked these horns are going off. I don't know. I'm looking. I don't know what's going on. I'm at a four-way stop. I don't know who's honking at who. I realize they're behind me. And it's long enough for me to realize it's happening, to look around. This is a very unusual thing. Horns on, to look around, to look in my rear, to realize it's me. Now, that might sound like a long time. All of those things could probably be done in about 2 seconds. About a 1,001, 1,002. Now that I do that loud, maybe 2.5 to 3 seconds. So when I realize it's to me, I do the only thing that I can to have a communication with the person behind me. I open my door and I say, "What is it?" Okay. So they begin to give me the business that I have a right. I have a left turn signal going, but it's a one-way. You can only go right. And that law was changed last week. There's a new sign. I have passed the sign, but they can see. I'm at a stop sign, but apparently there's a sign behind me. There's a brand new sign, and it's only a one-way, and I've got my turn signal to go the other way. And so they're telling me this: you can't turn, you can't turn. There's a sign, Sonnen, don't do it. Oh my God, don't do it. It's one of these situations. They say, I'm going to turn the way you say I can't turn. No, you can't do it. They're yelling this. There's two. The driver, who I must tell you, was a very handsome guy. His wife was a very beautiful woman, and they were speaking to me very friendly. But I have a diesel truck. So now you've got to be loud to a degree, right? I must be loud to say to you initially, what's going on? I must be loud over the truck. And then you yell to me, but then you've got competition, which is the passenger. So I'm doing my best. And I say, I'm going to make the turn. He says, you can't make the turn. You can't make the turn. I said, I'm going to make the turn. He says, you can't make the turn. I corrected. I said, you're not supposed to make the turn. And he looks at me and goes, which was a great move by him. It was a great move. I say you're not supposed to. And he, oh, okay, well, yeah, if you're talking about breaking the rules, yeah, sure. Okay, go ahead and make the turn. But you must understand from this perspective, it wasn't about this new law or this sign that I missed. It was about screaming fire to the highest degree. It was about me and my life never honking my horn. And I would guess to you I had 20 honks. I don't actually know. But I would also guess for you that there were multiple sounds. Like, who all is honking at me? Like, that is not the way you would treat somebody. There's not a train coming. There's nobody coming. From the beginning of time, it's not been this way. 10 days ago, it changed. So it's not as though all of a sudden something bad is going to happen. You would have an infraction if the sign they're telling me exists, which I've already passed, does in fact exist. Okay, it's one of these things. When I say I'm going to make the turn anyway, that's my way of saying, why'd you do this? Why did you stop me? Why are we here having this conversation? Why are you honking? That's my way of saying it. Okay, great. So I get home, and by the time I'm home, now you got to understand, I don't want heat in West Linn. I will act differently, right? It would be a very different situation because of the way I see myself, right? Is like the cat of this is, okay. Character flaw. By the time I'm home, and you got to understand, the story that I'm telling you about is straight outside the studio I'm sitting in now. The studio that I come to 5 days a week It's straight outside. My home is exactly 0.8 of a mile. So, you're in my hood, if you will, which, by the way, has a population of 49,000 people. That's not very many people, right? You understand? What are you honking for if a guy's going left or right? Thank you for telling me the signs there. I'll send my boys tonight. I'll rip the sign down. Don't pass any rules in this town without asking me. I'm a little bit stunned, in all fairness. But this did happen, so I get home. And by the time I'm home, it's already bothering me. It's bothering me, and I've gone to Twitter, and I've said, it was a silver BMW, very beautiful car, and I just said, silver BMW, DM me, I want to make this right. That's all I say. Not quite a concession of I'm ready to, but hey, there's a way I like to act it, and that's not it. All right. So, I put that out, but there's something else called Facebook. There's no laughing matter here. The mean streets of West Linn were displayed in full fury this past hour. Sucks to post, but after our decades of support and cheer for a particular high-profile local, we were on the receiving end of complete entitlement and intimidation. When we attempted to guide a big truck in front of us from turning left on the new right turn only at 10th Street and 8th Avenue. It's very true. That's very, very honest. Many others started honking at us behind and in front, causing backup and confusion. That's what I thought. I thought that there was multiple horns. I thought there was lots of horns going on. All right. So that confirms it, and it tells me that it was causing hesitation from all sides. That's true. Nobody wanted to go because of all of these horns from people behind me. That's absolutely correct. It's a small first world problem, right? So why do I post? Well, because while traffic laws change, and they are annoying, you are not above the law to simply make your right turn, go through the new roundabout, 5 seconds later, to be facing westbound. My husband and I are your neighbors. We're professionals. We're coming off a short lunch date to celebrate the end of an 8-month project. It ended with you flinging open your door. Now, see, we're all good. Everything here is 100% correct. And then we come to this. You flung open your door, standing high on your running boards, yelling aggressively at us. You telling me I can't turn left, watch me, and you did. Tempers flare, people have bad days. Wonder if that's who you really are. Well, that is an extremely accurate assessment. You've heard the old expression on any situation. You have your side, their side, and then you have the truth, right? But if you put yourself in that situation, that's pretty right. Like almost 100% of the time. And then you and the person you're arguing always know, regardless of the judge who's a principal, who's a parent, who's a coach, whatever the supervision might be, you two know who has the moral high ground because you know which one you like. There's not a word there that's a lie. But try to think about this from my perspective. So I'm out front. I don't engage this, but I don't know this person exists. I don't know there's a BMW behind me by my actions. I did not call for the meeting. They honked and then apparently got other people to honk. Okay, great. Now, if I'm to have an interaction with them, of which I can only assume somebody is in trouble, and that is why they're coming to Captain America. This is literally my assumption, arrogant or not. I have one way to communicate, which is to open my door. Now, she said that I flung open my door. See, that's where the problem began. My father actually taught me how to open a truck door, and he only showed me one way. There was not two ways. I do not have fling motion. I do not have aggressive motion. I don't have happy motion. I don't have sad motion. I have a door handle. You pull it this way, and then it pushes outward. But that's not what the word was. The word was flung. And then I was standing intimidatingly on my running boards, as opposed to that's where my feet were. They put the running boards there for you to stand on. The other option, well, I jump down onto the street. Why would that be relevant? And then it is said that I am shouting, watch me. Well, I got no choice to shout. I'm competing with a driver, a passenger, and my diesel truck and horns. So I'm not sure what I did wrong. I'm really not. Like, if I rework that situation, and if I was in any other city, I would never open my door. You're very safe in a car. You're very, from a self-defense state, you're very safe. I don't think anybody's upset. I think they're in trouble, and so they're calling daddy. That's what I think. Well, I pop out and say, what's wrong? However this goes, it's West Linn. I don't like it. And my DM doesn't get responded to on Twitter. So I'm going to go on Facebook. Now, at the time that I'm going to go on Facebook and post, I'm going to have some fun with them. Like the reaction when a woman goes on there and posts is that the local star, the professional, and the neighbors, and all these different things I'm going to lay down. It's not going to go that way. You're going to get the business. You're not going to get Chael. You're going to get the character. And the character is going to post to you that the only reason I stopped and turned around in the first place is you were making a ruckus like either a carjacking or a domestic violence assault. And it's going to go from there. I'm then going to finish it where at the end you're telling me, you don't know if this is who I really am. I'm going to tell you, no, that's not who I really am. Generally, I would have come over there, stuck the key fob up your ass, and pushed your car into the bushes. None of which are anything that I would do. But you didn't ask me. You tried to bring out the character. You got it. This happens to be the very game that I play. And you're going to find out why you don't play it with me. No big deal. No big deal. We're going to be friends when this is done. But you went first. You acted. I flung my card open, and I'm going to give you the business. Feel free to come back. I'll have you in here. We can be guests, but I'm going to tell the story the way that it happened, as I feel you did. Okay. I find out who they are. They're my neighbor. Now, neighbor is an expression that people misuse constantly. Neighbor be 4 miles away. No, you know what a neighbor is? The neighbor is he's next door. Your house is on fire. You need water. That's your neighbor that you go to. If he's anywhere other than that, he's not your neighbor. Well, guess what? If I walk outside and look straight and then I look if I let my eyes gaze to the right, 2 doors, it's them. Uh-oh. We haven't met. Okay. I gotta make this right. I don't know how to do it. I do not know how to do it because they posted this thing on Facebook. Now, I'm hoping, in all fairness, when I'm accused of domestic violence and being drunk, I'm going to stick the key fob up there. I'm hoping that they'll find it entertaining. Like, I'm hoping that they will, okay, wait, this is great. Okay, you know, and then you hug it out, right? You only have 2 ways to go with it. You double down, you triple down, or, whoa, hey, I'm out, right? It's one of those two. They're expecting I'm out, I'm going to go the other way, as a way of entertaining them. As a way of performing as an entertainer, they said that they were a fan of, right? They're not a fan of the nice guy. They haven't been cheering for the nice guy for years. They're cheering for the bad guy. I'm going to give them the bad guy. We're going to have a little bit of fun. Okay. Well, I end up thinking, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run. I get their phone number. I get their address. I'm going to run up. I'm going to get some ice cream. We got one ice cream shop in town. I get to the ice cream shop. It's closed. Dairy Fresh ice. Why would you be closed on a Thursday night? I don't know. No problem. Chinese restaurant, straight kitty corner, gonna go over there, gonna load up on desserts, gonna take it to their front door. All out of desserts. Okay. Give me the wontons, give me the green beans, give me the kung pao chicken, a little bit spicy, give me the right, I get this whole order, and I tell them, I say, hey man, these are my neighbors, I'm trying to make a good impression. Load me up for 6 people. Give me the whole gamut. All right, great. 3 big bags of food. March up to their door, got their address in my name, but I also have the cell phone. So when I park in the driveway, this is where I begin recording. I've been recording the message of saying, what do you do in a situation like this? I was going to get you some ice cream. Ice cream was closed. Tried to get it at the Chinese restaurant. Chinese restaurant was out. Got you a hot meal. Thought that counts. Can we call it good? Well, Pamela gets right back to me, and I'm talking like that. She's like, man, thanks a lot for the meal. We haven't had food, but did you drop this off at the wrong door? She said, you don't have any reason to make up. I said, Pamela, there wasn't a handsome and charming guy that got in the business with you in traffic today that looked a lot like me? She said, no. So I went back to my source, Danielle Bell, and said, you sent me to the wrong house. And Danielle said, yeah, I knew a few seconds after I sent it to you, but I really like Pamela and I want her to have a hot meal. So if there's a different way to handle a situation when you're being honked at and you think somebody's in trouble, if there's a different way than popping your head and saying, what is going on? I would do that. I would elect to do that. If I should have gone home and put it on a pigeon, if I should have sent a fax, if I should have typed it out in Morse code, if there was a different way to communicate with you when you communicated with me through honking, then if I could go back in time, I would have done that, and I hope you accept my apology.